or Liquid a much better chance in this game than the previous one, that's for sure.
Well, you still didn't answer the question. Do you favor them? You said much better chance. You didn't give them any chance last game, Synderen.
Did I not?
You said 0% chance they would win. I quote.
That's absolutely what I said. I'm sure I said that. That sounds believable.
Yes.
That sounds like me.
Yeah.
I think based on picks, I favor Liquid. But Secret did look better in the previous game overall. But it's it's also easier to look better when you get both Roches and like 5 towers, right? So
yeah, true.
I think the teams are relatively evenly matched, and I would probably favor Liquid based on draft. Now we just need to see them play their lanes well and get into a strong mid game.
Okay, fair enough. You actually answered it after literally 5 minutes of talking. Before we get started, I do have to mention that Zai is using our Underlord set, but he has not used the helm for some reason, which is the best piece. Instead, has opted for the default head, and I don't understand why. Why would you use the default head? Come on, you need a hooded Underlord. Anyhow,
probably doing it. Knowing Zai, he's probably doing it just to trigger you.
That is always possible.
The ultimate honor.
Matt on the team. Yeah, very true. Okay, I do want to talk a little bit about this mid lane. So qojqva on the Storm Spirit, Nisha on the Dragon. Dragonite just felt like he's obviously this very tanky guy that will do damage to your tower. For me, he's felt very underwhelming as of late. I don't know how you feel about this hero.
I think it's really good in the right game, but it's less of an auto pick than we've seen in the past. I think people have done a much better job at counter picking it. There's more willingness to buy Echo Saber because the item got buffed. People like buying Vestal when it's a good game for that. Like, for example, this game Vestal would be amazing, right? You look at the Radiant lineup, seems like an incredible pickup. Underlord, Dragonite, as well as Io makes it crazy good. Outside of that, I mean, I'm not so sure really why DK has fallen out of favor, but I still think the hero is pretty solid. Good timing, the right pacing for the patch in a lot of games. So, I think his main problem is honestly some bad lane matchups, but in this game, you're against Storm Spirit, completely fine. You're just gonna free farm. Storm can't do anything to DK.
Yeah, I mean, starting out with the CS advantage for sure. Has 2 points in Dragon Blood. Storm actually went into the jungle a little bit to get this bounty. Took out a camp as well, so a little bit deceiving, but Dragonite is ahead on the CS if you count normal creeps. Bot lane, Boxi on the Timbersaw, which you said is a very good Timbersaw game. He's been left alone now in this 1v2. Is there kill potential here for Matu and Puppey? Only 1 level of reactive right now. He's holding on to a point. Oh no,
yeah, there's pressure potential. I love what Secret are doing here. This is what you want to do. You're 2v1 against Timber, you pressure him all you can until he hits level 3. But now, I don't know if they can do it anymore. I think he's just too tanky. Io deals no damage in this lane, pretty much. Boxy's gonna get 2 in reactive
stack
armor.
for his reactive armor from Puppey.
Yeah, you're never gonna skill spirits on Io right now, Io 5. I think it's just too big of a loss over focusing on the healing aspects of the hero. So more than likely we'll just see Puppey go 4-0-4 as usual. And if that's the case, you can't really pressure Timber anymore. But as long as Matu is farming, you're not actually too mad at it, I think. That's good enough.
Beautiful sidestep from YapzOr. Did take heavy damage, but able to salve up very shortly after. Still level 1 right now, along with iNSaNiA on the Chen. So this top lane is the one that we haven't mentioned yet. It's kind of a pseudo tri lane, if you want to call it that, with obviously iNSaNiA going in and out of the jungle, versus this Underlord Lina. Do you like this lane for Drow? Should she be able to get relative decent farm?
Oh, good roll.
Yep, rolls on in, but
yeah, I mean, it's obviously you're 3v2, right? If your Drow is not getting good farm, you're really unhappy here. So it's fine. The problem for Liquid, I think, here is that if they don't try lane like this, the lane might be too difficult. So by bringing at least the freedom for Earth Spirit helps a lot there because Timber can solo. But you're obviously by tri laning here, your 2 supports will be relatively under-leveled compared to if they had a lane each. They're going to be sitting on level 2.5. I say that with YapzOr only level 1, but you know, that is often what's going to happen when you play 2v3. The support will sacrifice itself for a bit, but Puppey in the bottom lane getting that level 3.
Denied.
I think it's more important to look at like the macro perspective. Like if these lanes go okay, who's going to hit the timing that they want. I think Underlord is a crucial part in Secret strategy, like the panel pointed out. Getting a pipe here is crazy value, or other defensive items. And you're playing 2v3 and your Underlord's level 4. So I'd say job well done top so far.
Yeah. Well, mid lane being pressured a little bit more by Nisha. Not quite level 6 yet. I expect him just to use that off cooldown every time as the bounty runes have come up. The bounty rune he ended up getting earlier, I didn't actually mention it, but it was just left there for like 3 minutes, it feels like, surprisingly enough. Puppey gonna get zipped on by qojqva, and yeah, not able to get out, so first blood for qojqva himself. Obviously Storm Spirit.
4 bounties though.
Oh, really?
They have no business getting all 4 bounties in this game. Your support duo is Io Lina, and Io literally just walked over and took 2. That should not happen. Boxi with a solo kill though.
Boxi gets that kill. Wow.
Big kill.
So not only can they not kill Boxi, but he can kill you. PL destroyed. Now level 6 in this lane, and he is virtually untouchable. Did bring out some regen, so it looks like he's consumed it all. Still 3 levels of reactive armor. I can't see this hero being touched at all, especially now that Lina's in the lane at level 3.
I think that was a blunder from Boxi. He didn't tank the tower. He ended up losing his siege creep to just 3 or 4 tower hits there when he was completely healthy with stick charges and max reactive armor. I don't think there was any way YapzOr was going to be able to kill that siege, but now, with that little bit of a misstep, the tower's actually fine for a while. Honestly, kind of a big mistake for Timbersaw. It's such a big part of the hero, being able to take the tower with the first siege wave, and now you just kind of gave that away for free. It doesn't mean he won't get it eventually, but every minute counts, especially at this level of play.
Very true. So Drow sitting at a 35 and 11 CS, and despite the death, Matu, I mean, some of it is jungle at 43 and 8 right now. Pretty solid overall. But DK is just destroying this mid lane right now. Did a little bit of damage. Well, maybe destroying is a little too harsh, but dealing a little bit of, I mean, it's half HP tower right now, which is to be expected from a DK. Level 7 has a CS advantage on the Storm, who's been taking a lot of jungle camps himself.
Yeah, Secret did a really good job having Nisha push the mid tower while Puppey was on the bounties, so that even though they did kill the Io for first blood, as YapzOr is indeed gonna die, even though they killed Io for first blood, it cost them first of all the bounty runes, but also that mid tower damage. Oh, this is big. Oh, Nisha mid.
Yeah, Nisha forced to attempt to TP out. Will be successful. And we'll try to get back in time to hit the tower maybe one more time before DK form dissipates into the wind. But Boxi just been left completely uncontested. So you talked about that little mistake he made, but he's still going to end up getting this tower uncontested. Zai TP's out in the face of danger again. Kind of taking advantage of not really many stuns. I mean, Chen is maybe your secondary stun to go along with, I guess tertiary is technically the right term with both Storm and the Earth Spirit, but Storm only has 1 level of Electric Vortex right now.
Yep.
So if they use those stuns early, you can just take advantage of that for sure. YapzOr just trying to stoke as much XP in the bot lane now.
And on top of that, their burst isn't that good on the Dire lineup. I think they need time to build up damage. Like, Drow needs to hit for a while. The Earth Spirit needs to combo all his spells and have Magnetized proc multiple times. So once Dark Rift is up, realistically, killing the Underlord is going to be really difficult without bringing in the Timbersaw. And that has really big implications on how Zai can play the game. If there's only one hero in the enemy team he needs to truly be scared of, he can push the limits. And yeah, maybe you die once or twice, but the amount of resources that will go into killing the Underlord will be problematic and could lead to a game state like the previous one where Liquid's doing fine, but they're not countering the Sven in the last game, and in this game, will they counter the PL? At the very least, they took the safe lane tower, and now they're heading mid with Timber. Love seeing this. Keep up the pressure. Look to take away space. Not only are you pressuring their tower, but Timbersaw is also inherently defending against Dragon Knight by being here. Zai will die. Yep. Pretty
3 members of Liquid there.
Expected, but I can teleport Storm in 30 seconds again.
And Boxi continuing to pressure this mid lane. Nisha will come to help out Puppey. Nisha is the top net worth right now.
He got the God tier item, got Ironwood Tree.
Oh, that's true. He did get that. That's quite possibly the best hero in the entire game. As he's just going to continue
not
to
even
use
close.
that.
It is number one by a mile for this item. It is so good.
So should he be writing his thank you letters to Gaben after this? Is that what you're trying to say? I mean, we've talked about the neutral items at length, but obviously at times like this, it feels either really good or really bad, depending on your perspective. When a hero could just take advantage of something that none other can really do so. Boxi level 9. Nisha popped the dragon form that was with an arcane rune. Oh, no, actually, the arcane rune came after. Interesting. So not really able to take full advantage of this to pressure any towers.
But you're really seeing the value.
Space for qojqva to overtake him in net worth.
Yeah, you just look at the value of Timber being here. It's like, it's doing so much for the game that Boxi can sit here relatively safely and push this mid tower. Nisha is not able to put the pressure he wants. He's actually going to get jumped here. Io turn around.
Puppey is here to try to help things out. Look at the damage onto Storm Spirit, though. Underlord with the Pit of Malice as well. Boxi feels unkillable at this point in time. LSA connects as well as Puppey might be sacrificing himself, but Tether is online. iNSaNiA gets Laguna Blade to the face despite only having 100 HP. The trade will be Puppey. And Boxi continuing his rampage. A nice Centaur Stomp onto YapzOr. Matu has joined the fray, not able to finish this defusal as of yet, but he's relatively close as YapzOr just continuing to get pressured. Double kill for Boxi, a 3-for-1 overall, and the tier 1 tower will fall as well. Probably. But they're going to continue on. Matu has to doppelgang. Not sure if they have enough damage to actually take him up, but the Centaurs are posing a little bit of a threat here as DK form pops again, but Taiga ends up dodging the breathe fire, but the right clicks will suffice. Underlord uses that Dark Rift. miCKe trying to ward off this Dragon Tail, which is soon to follow here. But the Gust, actually the Sun comes out first. The Underlord with the Pit of Malice. miCKe, he's at half HP, getting even lower, getting chased by the illusions as Matu's gonna try to dive here. Continue on, another Spirit Lance to follow, and looks like that will be enough damage to take him out, but it will be a trade for the Dragon Knight. Now Matu left all alone as Puppey has died. Centaur Stomp is there. qojqva, very little mana to speak of, but this is 3v1. Matu taking advantage of that Phantom Rush, but he is completely outnumbered with no doppelganger.
He really wanted the drow kill. That was the most insane dive I've seen from Secret in a long time. They dove the tier 2 tower minute 11 with IOPL, and that only ends one way. Somehow, though, still relatively good for them as they get that mid tower in the midst of all of that mess. I think it was Zai was able to push out that tower. I was going to steal some of their jungle too, just to spite them. Might actually cost him his life though. TPing out.
Spite.
It's fine.
All right. So he did it again. TP. Oh, actually was enough damage.
He didn't TP to base. He TP to a tower.
Yeah, I was gonna say the TP was very long.
I think he tried to TP mid tier 1, but it was already taken by another hero. So the 5-second TP actually costing him his life there.
Sad.
Whoops.
But
good start for
if you're the PL and you have a defusal at that point, you would have gotten that kill a lot earlier, obviously. And
yeah,
I mean,
way faster.
You're playing with an IO, right? So you feel like you can't be killed a lot of the times, especially with the relocate technically available this whole time. But Matu, qojqva showing off that brand new Orchid, and we'll get a very value kill onto Matu as a result.
And the rest of their smoke didn't need to break for that, so Liquid could maybe even be looking at a secondary kill or some really good warding out of smoke. Looks like iNSaNiA will retreat to his own side of the map to take creeps, but yeah, Taiga is still hanging around here with qojqva looking for a secondary possible play. Nobody's really walking up there for now though, but big takedown on the PL. He was so close to defusal. He gets stopped again in his tracks.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
We know Secret need to play slowly in this game. They're definitely being forced onto, I want to say, less than half of the map currently.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely lost the top side of their own jungle.
So Nisha on the DK ended up going for the Blink Dagger first item. We'll go for BKB after. So he's essentially their initiation tanky boy. Of course, he won't really have any damage as a result of this build whatsoever. Boxi, oh my god, Matu just getting relentlessly chased. This freaking Ironwood tree is out of control. As it looks like Zai died on the other side of the map, despite being I mean, he's not super tanky yet, has not finished the hood. Actually went for mech first. Has the casual. I thought he had a cloak. Okay, maybe I'm mistaken there. Either way, finishes the mech now. But Nisha pops that dragon form into the dragon tail Taiga. At a half HP, but just rolls away. Feels like the Nisha dragon forms have not really done a whole lot so far this game. Although, ooh, relocate just for the bounty though. Won't feel too bad not getting that kill.
Dire are scattered.
So this is kind of what I feared for, like, from the Dragon Knight's perspective, and this is why this hero just feels very. I'm not saying it won't work out. Who knows what'll happen in this game? But he just he's there for initiation. You know, he doesn't do any damage really. Does a little bit of tick damage to towers. He's been using his dragon form off cooldown mostly to just farm. Feels like.
DK's damage curve is kind of weird, right? When you hit level 7, your damage is actually pretty damn good, but then you kind of suck for 15 minutes or 20. And then you get really good again later. Oh, qojqva. He's out of mana. Oh, that's...
This will be a huge kill. Laguna Blade is enough to take him out. And in the meantime, Zai was getting pressured in the top lane, but able to use Dark Rift to escape. So, Secret getting the way better of that exchange.
You'll see Dragon... If this game goes far enough, you'll see Dragon Knight do significant damage, but it's going to take a while. He needs that dagger, then he wants BKB in this game, which is a great pickup. You need it against Earth, Spirit, Storm, and Timber. You can't play without it here, I think. And then we'll probably see either Mjolnir or AC as his follow-up item, depending on how he wants to enable the PL.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
It's because Dragon Knight usually needs to go for these items that his damage feels weak. But there's always a little bit of an X factor when you have IO, right? You can never really count these heroes out. Suddenly, Nisha with one damage item and overcharge can really pack a punch. And it's not, they won't feel bad about tethering him instead of Matsu, because a lot of the time you don't really want to tether PL, right? You don't want to show which one's real. You just want to let him play his fight, and if he needs a heal, you can retether him and then mech or whatever you want to go for. Looks like that's not going to be the case, by the way. The mech is obviously on the Underlord, so IO will go for Glimmer Cape as his defensive item.
Yeah, Nisha now has level 2 dragon form, using it to take out this tier 1 tower in the bot lane. Boxi in the meantime looking towards the Bloodstone, I assume.
He has it.
Yep, has that finished and is taking this tier 2 tower by himself, as we've kind of seen throughout this entire game. That's been the pattern thus far. They have just no answer. But panel brought up the fact that Diffusal is a counter of sorts. Not to kill him necessarily, but to make him not as useful, I suppose. See if that ends up happening or not.
It's just, again, for me, this Ironwood tree is really the big difference maker, where usually against Timbersaw as PL, if you take the fight in a good spot, you put your illusions on him and you mana burn him and he can't chain to anything meaningful. He always has something meaningful to chain to. It doesn't matter where the fight is. So yeah, you can start going on him, but he will have all his spells every time. And he will be able to connect on targets. Zai.
Orchid initiation. Yeah, Zai is mega dead. And on top of that, it's not only the function of the Ironwood tree, but 4-second cooldown is absurd.
Yeah, it's the exact same as Timber Chain.
Low.
It's a match made in heaven, this item.
Oh,
it's incredible.
By design.
Yeah, it's actually incredible.
It's like, this hero sucks. Let's give him a neutral item, literally just for him. Maybe a little bit of a tree.
It's like IO with Essence Ring, and then you're like, oh wait, that's actually Giga broken. Maybe not. And then got changed. Maybe good old Ironwood tree is next in line. It's just weird, right? Because this active doesn't feel broken on any other hero. You know what I mean? It's like, it's good, it's cute. Like, sometimes you can make some cool plays. Even on Treant, I wouldn't say it's stupid that it has a 4-second cooldown. It's just on this particular hero, the value is just through the roof. It's incredible what you can do with this as a good Timbersaw player. And Boxi, whenever he has this item, he pops off. I've seen this, I think 3 games now with him getting this item on Timber. He just becomes a carry in the game. He's very, very good at using it aggressively. On Nisha.
Link stun to start things out, but the guts to follow. Triple Pit of Malice. Really, only a little bit of damage done as Boxi will just continue to do whatever the hell he wants. Now, the real question I have for you, Sin, is how long do you keep Ironwood Tree? Is this a literal all-game item for Timbersaw?
I don't think any item over to, like, I'm not a Timbersaw expert. I'm just trying to think, what item do you take on this hero until tier 4 that's better than this for you? Almost ever. It's just incredible. Like, maybe some games Essence Ring will have more value if it's really the difference maker between life and death, but usually you just want one of your teammates to have Essence Ring then. It's great. Then you don't need it. You can give it to somebody else. I don't know really. Like, what would you take over this? It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, definitely nothing in the tier 2. Tier 3, probably nothing. I'd have to look at the list. I mean, right now he's holding the Vambrace in his backpack. Oh, he just gave it up, it looks like.
Yeah, I'll give it to someone else. Should mention, of course, with this Aegis, Liquid might try to take a flat-out team fight. They're going to find Boxi.
Is stolen. This would be a huge kill, but Storm jumps in on the backside. Nice Yules to counteract that Orchid. Zai attempting to get everybody out of dodge with this Dark Rift will be successful. But again, that's another DK form used. Does have the... Is that a 10? Yeah, still 10-second BKB preserved for Nisha.
He just got it.
Oh, well, we talked at length about how good Ironwood Tree is, but Underlord got Clumsy Net, Cinder, and pretty good too.
Awesome,
I wouldn't say
sure.
it's as broken, but it's quite good.
Go on qojqva, he has Aegis.
Yeah. Firestorm.
Oh, nice silence from Taiga there.
Surprised no Pit of Malice came out. Maybe they just don't want to expend.
Are they going to try Boxi here? The answer is no.
Dragon form about to end. qojqva jumps in again though, as the LSA does connect on the backside from YapzOr. As that moves in, so Nisha applying all the pressure with the Laguna Blade onto the Earth Spirit. They find Chen, they find Earth Spirit. So Secret starting out this fight very well, as there's the mana drain coming to fruition onto Boxi as we have a puppy pause.
This is one of those heroes where you can't tell they're disconnected. PL is just they're like, this is perfectly normal. What's wrong?
That's true.
Yeah, the big read here from Secret is that miCKe is top, and Liquid didn't seem to have a way of connecting the Drow to the fight. I don't know if Divine Favor was on cooldown, there a little bit of miscommunication there, but they see that opportunity, they immediately jump. It's not good.
Yeah.
If you cut the Timber here, it's not like a total tragedy, because you still have your Aegis to make the next play if you get ready in time.
Dragon Tail, now he's completely out of mana. Like I said, Zai comes in with the help of Puppey, and they finally get the kill on Boxi. Matu gets a triple kill, half of which he was disconnected from the game, so congratulations to him.
I'll take that.
Shows the skill needed for PL players out there. He, of course, has the... does he have Manta coming? Oh, sorry, he's still building.
He
So
almost has
ultimate orb
it.
to go.
He actually does have it, right? The recipe's flying out. Or...
Okay.
Maybe,
Probably.
yes, no? Yeah, he got it. Okay. So... This is really big. Obviously getting 3 kills on PL, it brings him to top net worth. You're still behind on gold, but that fight was crucial, not just because of those kills, but effectively you might have wasted out the Aegis timer too. Liquid have 1 minute to make this power play with that extra life, and they just didn't find it there because they didn't bring the Drow to the fight. So letting that expire is honestly a pretty big loss. So we'll try for a bit of a poke on Zai top.
This is more than a poke. That's
He's dead.
considerable damage.
Alright.
I don't know who pokes you in real life, Cinderin, but that was deadly.
Feeling a bit surprised Zai hasn't bought a cloak here. It seems like incredible value with his item build. He has so much health that a cloak there might actually have made the whole difference. Instead of a cloak.
I could have sworn he had a cloak earlier in the game, and I mentioned it. I
He is
could have
buying it
clicked
now.
on
He put it in
something.
quick buy. He's like, wait, I don't have cloak?
Okay.
Definitely the item to get here. Very much agreeing with that. I even think he should finish the hood. Like instead, I think he was building towards... was he building towards Greaves? Think finish the hood for yourself. Make sure you're able to stand in the fight. Okay, Storm. We're going to use the Aegis mono region here. Full effects. Force BKB TP out. And
Yep. Damage
nice.
being done by miCKe,
That's
but not enough.
good value out of that region at least. And his Bloodstone is almost complete. He needs 150 gold, so 1 wave coming up here.
So Blink Dagger now on YapzOr, who is now queued up for an Aghanim Scepter after the fact. Zai already bought the recipe actually for Greed, so not super far away from finishing this bad boy. Just needs Arcane Boots.
He's still got the cloak on the way though. Bit of an awkward build-up phase for him here.
Yeah, for sure. And then on the other side, what are the items of note? Storm obviously has the Bloodstone Orchid combo. We'll be going for the BKB, it looks like. miCKe, in the meantime, trying to finish his Manta style, but still about 700 away from doing so for that ultimate orb.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah,
Oh,
actually
good cat.
links in.
Really good
into
cat.
LSA. Luna Blade is available. We'll expend it. It's a pretty tanky Earth Spirit, but they will find it thanks to the help of that trusty, clumsy net. In the meantime, Chen dies on the backside, so this turns into a 5v3 as Dark Rift, surprisingly used. Not really wasn't any danger. Cancels it.
JK lol.
JK lol indeed. Nisha jumps in with that Dragon Tail. YapzOr with the LSA. Do they have enough damage to take him out? It looks like they do. The Pit of Malice used for extra effect, as well as this tier 2 tower will likely take at least a little bit of damage, although there's no creep wave nearby.
Liquid are crumbling in this game because their supports are getting jumped and they're not ready to fight. Like, the one thing Secret know very well in this game, they can't go on the Timber, and they realistically, going on the Storm is difficult. qojqva's been doing a good job at not being targetable, but this Earth Spirit and Chen semi-frontlining is actually costing them a lot here. I'm not saying they're trying to frontline, but with the formation that Liquid have in their jungle when Secret invade them, it's not the Timber Saw they find. Every time they can go on this Earth Spirit, it feels so good, because one of two things will happen. Either you kill the guy, or the Storm will counterplay. And if the Storm counterplays and you find any catch on that, he's dead. He has no defensive item, no Yules, no BKB. So qojqva has to play a little bit cautious about that. Oh, he's going to get caught bot. They're finding them everywhere.
LSA, Laguna Blade, Pit of Malice, clumsy net, not even needed this time around, as qojqva takes a tumble. A huge kill for Secret, as the game looks to be swinging their way right now.
Liquid's entire lead is flat out just gone. Like, they're actually on the back foot now, and yeah, it's a 1k gold advantage. It's nothing. It feels like maybe when you look at the numbers, okay, it's fine, it's a close game, but the win condition of the game, the PL is getting really, really farmed. You have the Dragon Knight starting to reach the stage now where he can buy damage, so the AC is almost complete now on Nisha. We've talked about Overcharge as a late game steroid as well. Problematic to say the least for Liquid. Nice Centaur Stomp there from iNSaNiA, quick on the fingers.
iNSaNiA gets a Satyr creep. Not sure how much that's going to help, but looks like he's sacrificing his life. This is a very early Roche spawn as well, so if they end up taking a look there, they'll find it. Nisha now level 3 on the Dragon form. YapzOr does spot it out. The question is a Chen kill enough to feel safe to go for this? He'll be back in 25 seconds, but with this Dragon form, I feel like, yeah, this is the wise move. So this will be the Aegis and the Cheese this time around.
And I think it's going to look very different this time, right? Like, Liquid didn't get to use their Aegis. I would be so shocked if Secret don't get to use this one. They have a very straightforward way of using it. They just need to initiate any fight with Dragon Knight, and PL is free. With Aegis, he's just not a double kill for Liquid in this game unless they clean up some of the bigger boys in the front. So Matu has all the freedom in the world coming up on a Scotty. If he gets in on Drow, she's dead. If he gets in on Chen, he's dead. If he gets in on Earth Spirit, he's most likely dead unless he makes some really cool out plays with kicking away the PL and then rolling. It's tough. It's really tough being the supports on Liquid right now. There's just so much to watch out for. Lina blink Yules, Dragon Knight blink stun, PL charging you. Any of those three, you're dead. And even Boxi at this point might have... Alright, gonna see the Aegis used, maybe.
Aegis. LSA is gonna connect as the reload kick comes in. Pit of Malice placed by Zai. Netting Stormstreet, just stuck, doing nothing for such a considerable amount of time, but Puppey is taking the brunt of the damage here. Looks like he will fall. Does have buyback to work with, though, as the BKB is popped by Nisha. Dragon Tail expended onto the Drow Ranger. Should be enough for the kill, but the Guts comes out. Creates a lot of space for miCKe, who actually wants to come back in. Nisha uses the cheese. Matu's going to play all his pressure now to miCKe, but qojqva is here to help out as well. It's going to be really close, but they do end up finding the Drow Ranger. It's going to be the trade for the Aegis of the Immortal. Zai still with Dark Rift available. He's the only one even relatively low on his team. So this looks to be another cleanup crew fight for Secret. Double kill for Matu as the chase continues for iNSaNiA. Not really worth that much gold, but cheeky TP looks to be successful.
That was a really well executed fight by Liquid. I think that was super impressive. They got jumped on the Drow by Dragon Knight. She does not have a BKB. She only has the Pike Manta to get away with and buy time. They rallied around her super well with the Storm and Timber to keep her alive. And yeah, in the end they maybe lose that fight, but they forced out an Aegis and Cheese and kind of broke even with a Wisp buyback. That is not bad given the circumstances. So probably Liquid's best fight of the game there with what they went in with. relative to the opposing team. Nicely done.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
But they do lose two very important heroes, Synderen.
They do.
Cost a buyback for Puppey. But
I mean,
right,
if you think about how big of an advantage this Radiant lineup should have with Aegis Cheese, you probably in hindsight feel pretty good about that fight. Like, maybe it doesn't feel that good in the moment in the game, but from our observer perspective and how that fight started, that could have gone so much worse for them.
Yeah, very true. Right, miCKe getting close to that level 3 ultimate of his. Working towards a BKB now. Still quite a ways away from finishing that. It was the Assault Cuirass, by the way, for Nisha. So he is going to start to do a lot of damage now. Actually has the Orchid lined up for his next item. So likely
Storm and Timber. Boxi eyeing up the Shiva, of course, here against PL. Also, the healing reduction is nice as well against all of the heals that the Radiant team have through IO, Dragon Knight, and Underlord's Greaves.
It feels kind of bad, though, from Boxi's perspective, because he was building this so long ago, and based on his early trajectory, would have had it like at least 5-6 minutes ago easily. So he had big pieces of this already.
Yeah.
But that is what happens when you start to lose your lead. Only has 10 charges on the Bloodstone now. But 200 gold, and he'll have that Shiva's. You call it Shivas. That's interesting. Is that actually how you say it?
I don't know. Maybe it is Shiva. I don't know if it's Shiva or Shiva. It's just, to me, it reminds me of the word shiver, right?
Interesting.
Because it's
when
frost.
you say Shiva, it makes me think of getting like a shiv. Getting stabbed in a prison or something, you know?
The stabbing cold. I mean, either way.
Exactly.
It's named after...
Yeah. It's probably neither of the pronunciations. Well, remember, in Dota, it doesn't matter how things are pronounced, because technically Aegis is Aegis. But IceFrog himself was against that idea. Right, Boxi. Timber chains in. Using the still... Oh, man, Earth Spirit. He was so tanky before, but no longer. With all these items coming out from Secret, just gets decimated.
Scotty and Basher on the PL. What are you gonna do? Like, how do you solve this problem right now? Matsu's gonna... They're baiting?
Managing is gonna be out of control. Manta's gonna take off the gust from afar, though. Nisha still has the Dragon form available. qojqva pops the BKB in the midst of the Malice.
If he gets bashed here...
Essence String is there. qojqva. Looks like he'll be healthy. The half HP. Now this did cost a dieback, though.
Totally on his own. Nobody could follow through there. Taiga just rolling in. And this is what happens in some Earth Spirit games. Like, if...
Dire's middle tower.
He really needs to be a lot more patient and wait out the fight to develop. It's just difficult because Chen doesn't really provide much in the way of aggression right now, and Secret are kind of just kiting around the timber at this point. So it's hard to be Earth Spirit. It feels like you have like 3 jobs and you can't really do any of them right now. With this PL just running at one core after the next, and just killing them one by one or draining all their mana. This game, this little king.
Backdoor protection is there, though, thanks to the Storm Spirit shenanigans. Boxi, though, he's going to be found out. YapzOr with the Yules into LSA. Nisha, Dragon Tail to follow. They don't really have that much damage yet because Matu is not in the vicinity right now. Underlord, Zai will live through the engagement, but there is Matu in the enemy base, as expected, just forcing them out with all the pressures being applied to miCKe, and there's absolutely nothing they can do, seemingly. We'll find the kill basically on the doorstep of the fountain. Chen getting bashed up, will be brought down. miCKe forced to buy back. A lot of damage now onto Matu. This is actually a death. No Aegis in tow. So he's going to pay the ultimate price there. And still no racks to follow. So this could be a good comeback mechanic for Liquid if they're able to find more kills off the top of this. YapzOr will be the 4th.
This is so funny to me because it feels like the identical play to the mid-tier 2 tower min at 12. Literally the exact same situation. PL diving like crazy to kill Drow. Barely gets her, and then they can't get out after with IOPL, and they both die in the base. This time around, though, they get a buyback out of Drow, but honestly, if you're Liquid, you still take that. Like, that was looking really bad. You definitely could have lost Elena Barracks or more, but Bloodthirsty Matu there, probably going a little bit too deep for that Drow kill. At some point, you just get stubborn, right? Like, oh, oh, you know, she's like 10% HP. You just need that one bash. He gets the bash, but then I think qojqva slowed down all of his illusions with the overload and couldn't connect.
I mean, if you play that a little bit more disciplined and you assume that they have buyback, which I guess you have to assume at this case if you're going to go to the freaking fountain. It gives you a lot of extra seconds as he has to heal from basically 0 HP to be able to take that Rax. But it is Matu, you know, we can't really sit here and backseat too much. He is ATI god from a lot of perspectives.
Even the best.
Then again, so are a lot of players in here.
Even the best.
That's not true.
Mistakes. I think if Matu goes back and watches this replay, he won't be like, that was a great play. I'm pretty sure he will feel like that was not good. And
I'm pretty sure he'll laugh about it and say, I'm doing that next time again. So, knowing Matu.
No regrets.
Indeed.
Roche is about to potentially spawn, and we're looking at a long respawn timer, 225. So Secret having to map control for a while if they want to grab that, but should be the next big objective for them. Get an Aegis on PL so he can dive the fountain safer, and you'll be good to go. Abyssal will come up as well, and that honestly that's a big game changer, right? The Abyssal on PL, then these chase sequences on Drow just get so much shorter. You will way more easily be able to get that damage in.
Yep, for sure. So we do have the tier 3 items coming out, and Ironwood Tree remains. So I'm hoping this game will extend to tier 4s so we can get the ultimate decision. In fact, I hope this goes 60 plus minutes, and then we can really see the Ironwood Tree. If he keeps it then we know it's truly busted. Oh, there's no way that'll happen.
I mean, there's some really good timber items in the pool that he would definitely take if he didn't have it right now, right? There's the Craggy Coat. There's an unused Titan Sliver. There's the Vambrace from earlier, Nether Shawl. He's bypassing all of these items to keep his tree. So, definitely an indication of how powerful Boxi also thinks this item is.
I mean, he's also a very big Bob Ross fan as well. I think his name is based off of that. Just made that up completely. Is working on the BKB for himself. Not too far out from finishing it. As you mentioned, Roche will be late. Secret positioning themselves to take it whenever that time comes. And yeah, Abyssal relatively soon here for Matu. And if you're able to secure the age, I mean, the question is, do you buy this without buyback? Like, how much are you worried about? I mean, it is a Drow lineup, after all. How much are you worried about, like, losing a fight unexpectedly and then getting a Rax taken against you?
I think you buy it just because of the opportunity cost, right? Like, there's just so much... Yeah, you could lose the fight because you don't have buyback, but realistically, this Abyssal will win you the game, so...
Swarm Spear with an Aghanim Scepter, by the way. So we're going to see some crazy electric vortexes coming in.
A little bit of Mindbreaker action onto Boxi there. Holds his BKB though, keeps it cool. Let's see if Matu does buy it. I think he has the gold for it now, roughly. Yeah, he does. No, not quite yet. He bought the recipe though, so that's the commitment there. Ninja gear.
All right,
plus
tier 4 items, Cinderin.
Prism.
Sorry to interrupt you, but this is more important. All right, we got a cape.
Will Timber get another item?
If he wait, did they get Spell Prism or was the other team?
Spell Prism on Secret.
All right, if Liquid gets Spell Prism and he doesn't drop it for that, like, there's no way, right? Or does Storm take Spell Prism?
Probably give the Spell Prism to Storm, yeah, I would imagine.
Okay. Boxi will be very sad about that.
Here's the Roche. Alright, Liquid have to fight this. I don't think you can give this Aegis away. Matsu with Abyssal Aegis is going to be too much. But
Bloodthorn makes it real quick. Oh, zip on in, gets off the electric vortex with that Aghanim Scepter. Not able to pull him out of the pit though. Boxi pops that BKB, just gonna stick his fat, juicy BKB self in the pit, but the Roche is still relatively decent HP, so they're not worried about the steal. And the jump in onto the Earth Spirit, as we've seen so many times before, with the heal coming out from Chen, keeping him alive just a little bit longer. Phantom Lancer is not gonna be the focus from Team Liquid. It's a 5v4 and Secret's advantage right now though. As Storm Spirit going back and forth, very little mana to speak of now. Electric Vortex not for another 5 seconds. The Gust comes out, and now the retreat for Liquid, but the damage being done to Storm Spirit looks to be irrevocable. And that is 95 seconds on the deck. Timber Saw to follow, no buybacks to speak of, so a free Roche, free Rax, whatever the hell Secret wants.
You know what Matu wants? Wants to get back in that fountain as fast as possible and find that drow. So,
hey, he can ninja gear in the fountain when everyone's dead and it won't get attacked, right? So
again,
anything's possible.
I feel like I'm almost watching a replay of the last 3 fights, right? It's Earth Spirit getting jumped by Dragon Knight. They collapse. They try to kill PL. They fail because he has Manta Doppelganger and an IO healing him up with the tether into Holy Locket. And that's it. Like, if they don't kill PL there on that burst, they will get outlasted in the fight. Storm ran out of juice for the second time. I think he jumped over the pit, pulled them all, got teleported back to base, then Chen summoned him with favor, and it still just wasn't enough. They don't have the damage anymore.
Yeah, this is gonna cost them
looking to clean the game here.
2 racks, if not the game. Nisha has the refresher shard, which dropped from the 3rd Roche, so we'll have a second ult to work with. Doesn't have to worry about that downtime, which is every DK's fear. So they get the 2nd racks, and now they're just going for throne because the tier 2 is still up in the bottom lane. But initiation onto miCKe on the footstep of his fountain again, but he is just destroyed. The Bloodthorn, extra damage coming out, just way too much to handle. Zai doing the old Dark Rift in place, taunt if you want to call it that, as this looks to be a 2-0 for Secret in pretty dominating fashion.
Yeah, it looked really good today. I think this game for me is a lot more impressive than the first one, because in this game they were truly pressured. The Timbersaw was causing them a lot of trouble, but they made some really, really good, I think, play calls is like the thing that won Secret the game more than individual plays. It's just the understanding of, okay, these are the problems in the game. Timbersaw is a huge issue. How are we going to play around this guy so that we don't let him win the game? They did a very, very good job, even after losing those towers, with finding the Earth Spirit, finding the Chen, and kind of breaking the fight apart. Because as soon as that happens, that's when PL is a god, right? Is when the fight gets disconnected, and you get to connect on the drow as well. So very well done by Secret to take this win. Looked bad for them for a while, but they stick it out and get the W. They got the first one and they didn't get to use that Aegis, which was part of the problem, I think. Interesting. I will remember this for next time Dragon Knight does well, so that I can tell you that you were wrong as usual with off. Yeah, no problem.